We'll call the meeting to order. And I'll ask Trustee Johannes to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we'll move on to 3.3 roll call.
Student Trustee Masson. Student Trustee Vasquez.
Here.
Trustee Withrow.
Here.
Trustee Johannes.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan. He's on his way. Trustee Napolia Bellaris. Trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Here.
Trustee Quinlan.
Here.
Trustee Delphine Polk. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll go on to 3.4, Statement of Cooperation, which I will read. The Peralta Community College District Board Statement of Cooperation. Over the course of the last 2 years, we, the Peralta Community College District Board of Trustees, have been engaging in a process of reflection to improve our effectiveness as a board. As a result, we have conducted a critical review of our work over the last several years through a formal self-evaluation and established meaningful goals. The Peralta Board has adopted a statement of cooperation that codifies our commitment to set the bar for excellence in governance and community college leadership and to lead by example for our Peralta colleges. The full statement of cooperation is attached to this agenda item, but in summary, we have committed to 1, build trust and seek to understand each other. 2, be prepared and follow good governance and ethical protocols. And 3, model the behavior we want others to exhibit. We therefore commit to honoring and upholding these commitments in words and in action. 3.5, report of action taken in closed session.
There's no report.
Thank you, Vice President Quinlan. So we'll move to 3.6, approval of the agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
Student Trustee Masson.
Yes.
Student Trustee Vasquez.
Yes.
Trustee Withrow.
Yes.
Trustee Johannes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan.
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellaris.
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk. Yes. Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. 3.7, approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay,
Student Trustee Masson.
Yes.
Student Trustee Vasquez.
Yes.
Trustee Withrow.
Yes.
Trustee Johannes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan.
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellaris.
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee
Yeah.
Gonzalez Brito.
yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. So I'll move on to item 3.8, associated student government reports. Is there anybody online?
Hello,
Hi,
Christian Klitschko from Berkeley City College. Great to see all of you again. So, not too much to report. HBCC met last Thursday, and we didn't really discuss much since it is the end of the year. We're gonna meet on Thursday, this Thursday tomorrow, or yeah, in 2 days for our last meeting of the spring semester. We're gonna do like a little recap of like what we did this year, who contributed what our like favorite moments were for any of you. Yeah, we had our banquet on Friday, so HBCC banquet last Friday. It was kind of an event for all the new members that are gonna be onboarded to the HBCC board the next year to kind of get a preview of what happens, what role on the board does what. We did intros, we had some food, it was a good time. And yeah, apart from that, I don't believe there's anything else I have to report. Thank you.
thank you. Are there other reports? Student government reports?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. So with 3.9, I believe we do not have Peralta Classified Senate report tonight. So we'll move to 3.10, District Academic Senate report.
I was called to the podium, wasn't I? I was lurking at the back of the hall and
barely heard. Thank you. Hi, folks. Matthew Goldstein, President of the District Academic Senate. Thanks, as always, for making DAS a regular part of your agenda. 2 brief items tonight. A brief check-in on the College Senate's recent resolutions on class cancellations, and then an even briefer item on the upcoming DAS officers elections. First, as the college presidents and the chancellor and the board are all aware, DAS last week endorsed resolutions out of each of the academic or faculty senates. The resolutions urged the end of class cancellations as a tool of enrollment management. It's an issue that I've brought here several times over the last several months. The college senate presidents have received replies from the college presidents, and the chancellor's reply arrived in my email this afternoon. The thoughtful and detailed responses, while rejecting the recommendations of the senates, nevertheless show serious engagement with the concerns raised by the senates, and they address the concerns that were raised out of the senates. The formal consideration and reflection on faculty recommendations gives hope that even as we continue to disagree, we might work to address some of the enrollment related issues that continue to plague our district and districts around the state generally. One point of agreement between faculty and administration that I'd like to underscore is just how damaging class cancellations and late changes are to our credibility as institutions, and how adversely they affect our students and faculty. By committing to a published class schedule, colleges would instill confidence in their offerings and allow students to plan what we know are their very complicated and busy lives. When classes are canceled, or for that matter, their modalities are changed or their start dates are altered, students are forced to make changes to their work schedules, to their babysitting arrangements, to their other classes, et cetera. And likewise, cancellations complicate the lives of the faculty members who are assigned to those classes that get canceled. And of course, they complicate the lives of the chairs whose responsibility it is to make those 11th hour adjustments to department schedules. So our shared commitment to look into district-wide scheduling and to start years out planning is an important step towards improving our colleges. It has to be acknowledged, though, that it seems like it will take us 2 or 3 semesters to put together the broad coalition of constituents that will arrive at these solutions. And meanwhile, it seems we're going to continue doing exactly what we've done before. And again, it's the situation that we've been in that led to the unanimous passage of the resolutions that we're talking about tonight. So it's a rather curious decision to stand pat when we all agree that there are existing problems with the system that we're working with. Also, if it's in fact the case that, as the president's replies insist, the number of classes canceled is pretty low, then leaving the classes on the books wouldn't cost us very much and would give administration a great opportunity to test the faculty's idea that leaving those classes on the books would improve enrollment, persistence, and retention. So again, continuing with a model that's been proven to be an underperformer is while we wait to make these important changes, seems inadvisable. Again, though, the Senate's thank the presidents and the chancellor for their timely and serious efforts to engage with them, and we look forward to addressing these larger issues in the near future. A second, and finally, I just want to let folks know that the DAS will hold its official officer elections on Tuesday, May the 21st, in this very room and via Zoom. A runoff election at Merritt's Academic Senate led to this surprise delay in the DAS elections. Otherwise, you'd know right now who's going to tax your patience next year. But in any case, you'll know at our next board meeting. So thanks very much for your time and consideration, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, President Goldstein. With that, we will move to 3.11, public communication on matters that are not on the agenda. We have a number of people who would like to speak to this item, so we're going to ask that you keep your comments to 2 minutes. So 3.11, public comment.
First, we have Leslie Blackie.
Good evening. My name is Leslie Blakey, and I'm a biology faculty member at Laney College. Once the district shut down face-to-face classes, I was part of an ad hoc faculty committee working to bring back face-to-face classes safely. We had to fight to get the CTE classes back that fall 2020, and then gradually more science classes were allowed by spring 2021. Since then, many face-to-face classes have struggled for enrollment. Faculty and students have endured last-minute cancellations and switching modalities. My general biology class for majors, which is Bio 1A, was flipped to an online modality in spring 2022 instead of the planned hybrid lecture online and lab in person. And in spring 23, my class was canceled on day one of the semester. We only teach one section of Bio 1A each semester at Laney. So these last minute changes to modality or class offerings disrupt student educational plans and their progress towards degrees. It's hard to rebuild the students' trust that the classes will be offered, and so enrollments in succeeding years are now slower. I keep being told that there are few cancellations, but it doesn't feel that way. When a transfer class, which is important for biology majors, that used to fill pre-pandemic has been changed or canceled twice in the past 5 semesters, and been on the possible chopping block the others, I can tell you that the students are not feeling confident that they can enroll in these classes and that they will go forward. Also, I can tell you that students who have been in these lower enrolled classes have benefited from a great student-teacher ratio. In addition, post-pandemic students often need more encouragement to come to class, to develop social skills and the study skills for the classroom, and they deserve the attention of the faculty in that class, and lower enrolled classes actually help them. I want to push back on the narrative that faculty don't want to teach face-to-face. What we want is to
10
not
seconds.
get canceled or have late changes to modality, which impacts our ability to deliver good educational experiences for the students. Our departmental schedules have been cut to the bone. Class cancellations have a greater impact now with reduced FTF allocations.
Time is up.
So please do not keep damaging students by canceling classes.
Sejal, who will cede their time to Abigail. So Abigail, you have 4 minutes.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Chancellor Gilkerson. My name is Abigail McMurray. I'm the president of Laney Student Government. I'm here today on behalf of 100+ students and counting who couldn't be here today, but are in support of what we're asking you and appreciative of the collaboration approach we're taking as we move forward. So I'd like to read you our petition. So we, as the undersigned students and faculty of the Peralta College Community District, are committed to ensuring the mission of our district is fulfilled and is in advancing social and economic transformation of students for students in our community. The Peralta Board and Administration have a responsibility to lead our district and campuses based on the shared values, equity, and stability that are necessary to guarantee quality instruction and student success. While the impact of the COVID-19 had a dramatic impact on enrollment and campus communities throughout much of the higher education in California, its effect on PCCD campuses has been particularly severe. Rebuilding and moving forward will require thoughtful and collaborative solutions to the challenges that we face as faculty, staff, students, and administrators. Cancellations and last-minute modality changes create unnecessary and burdensome disruptions for our students and teachers. These cancellations or changes leave students with fewer choices, longer graduation times, and deepen existing inequities. Outside of college, students contend with lack of resources, unpredictable schedules in their enrollment, and/or familial obligations. They should not have to contend with the same in their education. As community college professionals, we need to provide the stability that's also elusive in our students' professional and personal lives. Only then we can truly serve our community. And what we're asking, in order to rebuild our campus culture, boost enrollment, and fulfill educational needs, we, the student and faculty, demand consistency and reliability in class offerings. Cancellations and last-minute changes to modality or start dates must be kept to an absolute minimum and done in close consultation with faculty. With the funding shift that we face in the 2025 to 2026 school year, we have an opportunity now to do right by our students. We demand the funds be reduced to class sizes to 30 students or fewer, thus enhancing the learning experience of our students and enabling the scheduling of our classes, rather than decrease in sections and teachers allowed by the district in recent years. We further call on Chancellor Gilkerson and our Board of Trustees to create a district-wide schedule for 2 years that ensure that our students will have the classes they need to matriculate and our faculty will have courses to teach beginning of the spring of 2025. So I'd like to share my personal story about class cancellations and how important, keeping the class schedules are. Me personally, I was a part of EOPS for the first 3 semesters of my journey here at Laney. And I was not able to take it this semester because one of my classes was canceled on the first couple of days. And that really affected me because in order to be an EOPS, at least 50% of your classes need to be taken at your home college. And also I need to scramble because I'm a full-time student. According to FAFSA, I have a score, it's a 0. And according to the new SAR that they have, I have the complete lowest is -1,500. So me as a student, I truly depend on the money that comes from sources such as the Pell Grant and, the money that I receive from EOPS. So this has truly affected me. And me personally, I don't feel comfortable talking about the same topics and reaching out the same way to teachers in Zoom classes that I would in an in-person class. And I know that a lot of students feel that way, but a lot of students are also unable to take certain classes because of the way that it's set up. If my major, if it wasn't so flexible in the kind of classes that I can take, my major is political science. I'm able to take a wide variety of classes as long as, for me, as it aligns with the IGETC. And there are only about 5 required classes according to assist.org. But I know for a lot of students, especially in STEM classes, they need to take certain classes, and this only makes it more difficult for them to fulfill their requirements. And yeah, that's just what I'd like to say. I'm just glad that I have a chance to talk with you all. This is just a very important topic for me, especially because, I live by myself. I don't know how I would
10
be able to
seconds.
get by if I wasn't able to take full-time classes that aligned with my major and my schedule. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Yiping Wei.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Gilkerson, and President. And I'm Yiping Wang, the head librarian from Laney College Library. Tonight, I'm here to humbly ask your consideration in recognizing a female African-American faculty member, Ms. Shirley Dumas-Costin. Ms. Costin began her career at the Laney College in 1970, and for over 5 decades, she has been a staunch advocate for lifelong learning and a leadership in the field of library sciences. In light of her unwavering dedication and the profound impact she made on our academic community, I propose honor her by naming the new library and the Learning Resource Center after her, so to be Shirley Dumas-Costin Library and the Learning Resource Center. This gesture will not only celebrate Ms. Costin's remarkable achievement, but also inspire the future generation of students and faculty at Laney. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next.
This is our members.
Awesome.
Next public speaker is Aura.
Hi, my name is Aura. I'm a 2-year Berkeley City College student. I'm here because I want to say my story. This semester, I was signed up for a class for ASL, and unfortunately, the class was canceled 2 days before I started. It really impacted me because I set my goals, I set my semesters and classes, and I have everything organized. So it really disrupts my scheduling in a way that I want to succeed. I think that even if you are a student and faculty, I think you deserve your education, even if there is only very few classes and very few students. I think some students do benefit from smaller groups because they can excel and get their attention span that they need. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Evelyn Lord.
Good evening. My name is Evelyn Lord. I'm the systems librarian at Laney College. And we have a group of us here today who are here to support the proposal that Yiping Wang presented to name the new Library and Learning Resource Center in honor of Shirley Dumas Colston. I want to acknowledge the folks who've come today. We have Terrence Fisher, formerly of the Writing Center, now of IT at Laney College. We have Lily Liang from the library, Yiping Wang, Andrew Skinner-Demps from the library, and Autumn Sullivan, also from Laney Library, a librarian there. And a few of us will be speaking, but we will keep our remarks very brief. So I just want to say, I think that Yiping spoke very well to why we value Shirley Dumas Colston. She's been a library leader, a trailblazer, and an advocate for the students of Laney and Peralta for more than 50 years. In fact, she still comes to events. Even though she retired in May of 2023 as a part-time librarian, and she retired as a full-time librarian in 2011. She actually served as head librarian for more than 30 years at Laney College. She was there when the library opened. She was hired in December of 1970, and the library opened in January 1971. From the beginning, she was forward-thinking, innovative, always focused on student success. As an example, when the library opened, she redesigned the way the library was set up. There was a stack of periodicals right on the main floor of the library. She had those stacks removed and turned it into a browsing area where students could sit
Time's
and
up.
relax during their breaks from classes. So that's just one example. Signage. She used, instead of using the common library language like reference or reserves, she used language in our signage that was student-friendly, like information instead of reference, or textbooks instead of reserves. So she also established within the library a library learning resource center to the extent that we could way back in the 1970s.
I'm sorry, but
there-
your time is up now.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
So I'll pass it on to one of these other folks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Andrew.
Hello, my name is Andrew Skinner-Demps. I am Principal Library Technician at Laney College Library. I'm here to support the naming of the Laney College Library and Learning Resource Center in recognition of our esteemed colleague, Shirley Dumas Colston. In my time working under Shirley's dedicated leadership, I was profoundly moved and affected by her inspiring support of our beloved Laney College and the greater Peralta Community College District. Shirley gave her all to students and to Laney College, which included me at the time. She constantly pushed us and saw more in us than we saw in ourselves. And at the time, as a young Black student and man, that kind of support was invaluable. This is just one of the many reasons, not to mention that there are no other buildings on Laney College named after women, that this board should establish the Shirley Dumas Colston Library and Learning Resource Center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lily.
Hi, good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Gilkerson, and President Besikov. My name is Lily Liang. I'm a library technician too at the Laney College Library. And I'm here to say that Shirley enjoys advocating for the Laney students. She makes sure the students have the materials they need from the library to do their research paper and homework. Her goal is to make sure that the students achieve their goals and succeed with their education. For example, starting in the 1970s, she made sure that the library had a copy of every textbook for every class. I strongly, highly recommend and support naming the new Library and Learning Resource Center as Shirley Dumas Colston Library and Learning Resource Center. And I hope you all consider naming the library under Shirley Dumas Colston. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Silverberg.
Hello, can you hear me? My name's Matthew Silverberg. I'm an instructor at Berkeley City College, and I want to also support naming the library, having just heard that after Shirley Poston. So I'm here to talk again about class cuts and how they affect us, everybody in the campus environment. Myself as a teacher, it's very much of something that affects how I plan things, how I think about my semester. But also it's the fact that I love my students and I love the environment of the college. It really sort of somewhat makes a sour taste in my mouth about how I think about it. Because I've spent nearly 20 years as a teacher now at Berkeley City College in multimedia, watched many changes occur in that field. But one thing I've never watched change is the fact in my time period that class cuts and cancellations seem to always be a prevalent issue there. So I want to speak very briefly about my personal situation from the vantage point of storytelling about three things that we always think about: pride, resignation, and fear. So I'm proud of being a teacher at Berkeley City College and proud of the trustees, proud of everything about it. It's a fantastic environment. Otherwise, I wouldn't continue to be there that long. Fear is the story of every semester for my own situation, having lost classes 5 times in a period of almost 20 years. That's a significant problem of things being uncertain. And so I have to make plans for that accordingly. So that, I'm sure, is multiplied by students, as we've heard before, as we heard from others here. It's multiplied in general.
10 seconds.
I will give it. And then my last thing is about resignation. I don't mean resigning from the school. I mean accepting something as if nothing can ever change and you can't really do anything about it. Here's a chance where I can actually request that you consider, the trustees and others, that this is a serious matter that really does need to be considered very seriously. And thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mark Lispy.
Hello. I also teach at Berkeley City College. So I just want to talk about the current strategy, policy, rationale behind class cancellation and how it makes no sense. It's not in the interest of the faculty. It's not in the interest of the students. It's not even in the interest of productivity. So for the faculty, as many have said, it really causes a massive disruption to our lives. I'm part-time faculty. I know that, you prepare, say, during the break period for your classes. Maybe you have 2, maybe you have 3, maybe you have 1, and you have that number hovering around 11, hovering around 12, and then bam, the class is canceled. It means cancellation typically of, if you have the health insurance subsidy, that thing's gone. It could mean that you move from a different category in covered California because you make a different income adjustment and now you're bumped back down to Medi-Cal. So your insurance has to be reset, right? It could mean your chair gives you an option. Oh, hey, we canceled your class, but let me give you this online class instead. So now for the last week, you're cramming to prepare for a prep online when you're preparing for an in-person class, and your last 2 weeks are completely shifted. So it makes no sense from the perspective of the faculty. For the students, it doesn't make any sense. As you heard, the disruption it causes to them. I had from last semester, I teach English. I had a 30-person in-person English 5 class. I had 7 people show up on the first day, and I had a colleague whose other English 5 in-person class was canceled at 13. And then I had to tell international students who are forced to take an in-person English class that I couldn't add them to the class, even though they needed to be there. They need to take an in-person English class. So then they're stuck scrambling to find an in-person class that doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense for the students, even on the level of productivity, it doesn't make any sense, right? If this is so-called for productivity, cram as many students in the class as possible. It's not productive. You have far fewer time you could spend with the students. And I want to think about it. We can still be revenue positive if you decrease the class caps, you decrease your classes down to 30. We can get away with 12-person classes, 13-person classes if necessary. In the end, we're revenue positive. If I walked into a 12-person class in English, it would mean a far better English class than a 31. So it would be even better for the students anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeff Sanseri.
Hello. There you go. Good evening, board members and all assembled here this evening. What you're hearing tonight is students and faculty coming together to describe issues, but also to begin conversation about solutions as to how we can be successful. You know, I'm grateful right now that we have a chancellor and now trustees who will actually listen to us now after the change in leadership. I don't think it's a secret that there needs to be some rebuilding and restructuring in Peralta, and it's been said and maybe even rethinking. Currently, we're trying to recover from, I guess, one, COVID from a couple of years back, and two, also management that seemed adamant about being adversarial towards faculty and staff with an us against them mentality, and no one really benefits from that. So let's talk about what's best. First for students, and that would be reliable scheduling and classes so our students can find it easier to matriculate, and smaller class sizes, which raises the quality of learning occurring within these classrooms. This is not to say that for the most part, college administrators are canceling courses left and right. In fact, we've actually seen courses being canceled less on our schedules in recent semesters. But to our students, when a course is moved from being in person to being online, or the instructor changes because of the modality or the modality changes, or regular semester courses turn to a late start course, many times our students, to them, this is effectively a cancellation. Not only that, but the decrease in cancellations can be deceptive because it doesn't necessarily account for the courses that we stopped offering in the first place. You know, students lose those opportunities too. For faculty, the situation is slightly different. Of course, 30 seconds, awesome. Of course, cancellations and cuts to courses mean that less faculty have jobs. We've lost hundreds of faculty members to this. But for faculty who remain, the issue is that changes in modality and start dates is an unnecessary burden on instructors who, with short notice, have to refashion an entire course to fit within a new pedagogical parameters. You've heard faculty senate leaders speak to this issue this evening in some ways, and it's worth saying, or at least repeating, the academic senates from all 4 colleges have produced resolutions that speak to this issue, and the district academic senate has signaled their support as well. Currently, there's a petition circulating about this issue with hundreds of signatures, and the issue is resonating with students, so much so, there you go, that they are going to continue to collect signatures from fellow students and faculty even to ensure that this very important issue stays on the front burner. I know that faculty will work hard alongside the administration, as strange as that must sound, to ensure that the issue that they described tonight is prioritized and addressed. I trust that we'll also have the full support of the governing board. Thanks.
Thank you.
That is all the public comment we have for tonight.
Thank you, Sasha. So we will move to 3.12, Chancellor's Report.
Thank you so much, President Gonzalez Brito. Good evening, trustees, college presidents, community members. Thank you for being here. So we'll go ahead and bring up the slides. So on April 24th, I had the honor presenting at the California Community College's LGBTQ+ Summit, Rise, Resist, Empower, the Unstoppable Movement for Queer Trans Liberation, elevating the basic needs of LGBTQ+ community college students in California. It was a really incredible event, really supporting and looking at the intersections of our students. And the data in the basic needs report really illustrates how fragile the basic needs infrastructure is to support our queer and trans students in California community colleges. Next. On April 25th, I hosted a workshop attended by over 50 stakeholders across the district involved in the contracts process, including classified professionals, faculty, administrators, and outside legal counsel. It was a productive day as it was clear we all wanted a faster, more efficient, and more transparent process for moving contracts through our system. We even did some light role playing with teams stepping out of their comfort zones and pretending to be stakeholders, including legal counsel, and some even were, role playing me and the board of trustees. So we came up with many ideas to improve the process and are working to evaluate and implement them now. At your April 23rd meeting, you graciously approved a proposal to rename the Laney College baseball diamond and bullpen after two longtime coaches, both of whom are in the California Community Colleges Athletic Association Hall of Fame. The diamond was named for former head coach Tom Pierce, while the bullpen was named after assistant coach John Martinez. Both men served as mentors for current Laney baseball head coach Francisco Zapata, who gave a heartfelt speech during the ceremony. It was wonderful to celebrate the long commitment these coaches had for Laney and the Peralta Colleges while they coached and mentored scholar athletes like Coach Z. And I got to hang out, it was pretty cool, with the Laney baseball players and celebrate the legacy of success on a beautiful spring day. And I got to tell you, the stands were filled with alums. I mean, like everybody came out. It was very short notice. You did it the night before, and that Friday they had the stands filled. So I really want to congratulate Coach Zapata and our athletic director, John Beam, and his team for putting together a nice community event. Congratulations to President Besikoff as well. The Peralta online equity rubric was developed here in our district prior to the pandemic, which drove instruction online. Our equity rubric is used around the world and by the University of California system closer to home for helping design equitable online classes. Through thought leadership that went into creating the equity rubric continues with our annual conference, now in its 4th year of the Peralta Online Equity Conference. I had the honor of giving the keynote address on May 1st, the closing keynote. So I closed the show after 3 full days of an incredible conference. And I want to acknowledge Chelsea Cohen, Didem Ikiji, Kevin Kelly, Tina Vasconcelos, Inger Stark, and all those involved in organizing the Peralta Online Equity Conference, which had 740 attendees from all over the world. Great job. On Thursday, May 2nd, I had the pleasure of attending the Peralta Association of African American Affairs Scholarship Awards reception here in the district atrium. 9 students were honored with scholarship awards from PA by way of the Peralta Colleges Foundation. So I want to congratulate the scholarship recipients, the 9 students. You see many of their pictures there. I want to honor the remarks about Shirley Costin being there. Shirley Costin is right there giving an award to one of the students as well. So congratulations to our scholarship recipients. I have to say my favorite part of the very memorable evening was hearing from each of the students who expressed their appreciation for their awards and the support they received from PA and Umoja. So that's Anise Jones from BCC, Darius Standifer from BCC, Uluwatu Akalani from BCC, Chanceline Zano from COA, Shamika Johnson from COA, Damian Pope Jr. from Laney College, Lois Spicer from Merritt, Wesley Pierre from Merritt College, and Bianca Townsend from Merritt College. It was great to see Board of Trustees Vice President Louis Quinlan and former longtime trustee Bill Riley there. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Lawrence Van Hook, Douglas Cobb, Hope Lane, Ramona Butler, LaShawn Brumfield, Rose Allen, and all who helped organize the Scholarship Awards reception. It was a really incredible event. Wow, oh wow, what an event. We held the first ever Peralta Community College District-wide graduation event for Asian American and Pacific Islander students at Merritt College on May 3rd. My heartfelt thanks to those who helped organize this district-wide recognition event together. And I gotta say, first time, inaugural, first time. So Susan Kung, Connie Tran, Christina Tang Rivera, Susan Trung, Pumi Saivong, Luan Win, Angela Koo, Julie Seichow, Nikki Chow, Cynthia Tang, Joan Su, Sharon Kwa, student assistants from APAS and the Society of Scholars. We thank you. We had a dragon dance and drums. And I got to just say the drums were very loud. They were very loud drums. It was lovely. And we had a quieter traditional music from Ao Cu Vietnamese Cultural Center's Su Viet Ensemble. Roger Chung, ethnic studies faculty at Laney College, gave an inspiring keynote, and I particularly enjoyed hearing the student speakers, Steve Ma from Merritt College, Jennifer Fong from Berkeley City College, Denny Aika from College of Alameda, and Penpei Negi from Laney College. The student center at Merritt was packed with graduating students and their families. It was so really, it was lovely. And it was truly an event full of smiles. So it was excited to keep, we look forward to keeping this district-wide event going in future years. I talked a bit about thought leadership in the Peralta online equity rubric. And another form of leadership is the involvement in statewide organizations. I want to congratulate Jamil Tier, who has been elected to serve on the California Community College's Classified Senate Board of Directors. Jamil works in the Department of General Services as a facilities project coordinator and is the Peralta Classified Senate Vice President and Secretary, as well as the Vice President of Peralta's SEIU Local 1021 chapter. So goodness, Jamil, you're pretty busy, but congratulations to Jamil on your new statewide role, and just thank you for all of your service and dedication to our district. As you are aware, I serve as the Chancellor in Residence for the Community College Higher Ed Access Leadership Equity Scholarship, CHALES Research Collective at San Diego State University. Last week, I had the honor of participating in the 2024 CHALES Research Showcase, which highlighted insights and implications from our active projects advancing racial equity in higher education. Our scholars presented different research, including Latinas in Power, Queering Student Equity, Bridging Research and Action for Racial Justice, that brought together national scholars and practitioners to unpack the multifaceted challenges to improving racial equity in community college. We've had a lot of focus on professional development over the past 16 months with the creation of the Professional Development Learning Center and the first ever Classified Professionals PD Day. This spring was the first time that the district's professional development coordinators, who usually focus on the district Flex Day events, created a program of speakers all semester long. Most of these talks are available on Peralta's YouTube channel, so check them out. But I want to offer congratulations to Chelsea Cohen and Marla Leach on pushing the boundaries on professional development as professional development coordinators for the betterment of the Peralta people. And you could see some of the incredible speakers that we had there. And so thank you for everyone who participated. Last night, I had the honor of serving as a judge on a panel that included trustee Nikki Gonzalez-Ewen and the Berkeley City College president, Denise Richardson, for Dream Launch at BCC. I want to thank Derek Carver, BCC student and member of the Future Leaders of America, Phi Beta Lambda chapter at BCC, for inviting me to participate. The event is an update of the Shark Tank style business competition this year called Dream Launch. Students from across the Peralta district participated by presenting innovative business ideas, which are refined through a series of workshops to a final presentation. We had a hard time last night, right? Trustee Gonzalez, you win. It was a lot of fun hearing the different business pitches from the talented students, but we had to select a couple of winners, and grateful to have been a part of that incredible event put on by our students. So thank you so much. The Peralta Community College District's Chancellor's Trophy Award is a district-wide award designed to recognize and honor outstanding students whose scholarship, sense of civic responsibility, and leadership gives the most promise of future success and service to the community. The winners selected from 4 finalists who are the President's Medallion winners from each college. All 4 finalists are outstanding, so this was not an easy decision to make. But student trustee Natasha Masson has earned this award with her leadership and strong advocacy on behalf of students across the district. I found her application essay to be very compelling and was deeply moved by the sense of isolation she expressed regarding her upbringing. Her need to break free from isolation led her to overcome fear outside the world and enrolled at Berkeley City College, where just taking BART to school felt like a dangerous test of will. and she took on other tests like learning to flip a balasong or butterfly knife. The bruises and minor cuts that came with pushing herself and learning this new knife flipping skill served as a metaphor for her metamorphosis from a recluse living in constant fear to a passionate, involved student leader. Educators know how often we learn as much from students as we teach them. And both of our student trustees have been incredible teachers to me in this last 6 months. And I'm so really just deeply grateful for the relationships that we've had. And I've learned firsthand the power of resilience and determination as demonstrated by you, Natasha. So congratulations, Natasha Masson. You are the Chancellor's Trophy winner for 2024, and we will honor you at your commencement. And now, trustees, we'll put up the next slide. We are going to do our inaugural congratulations to our Flying Pig Award winners. And I'm going to move to that side so my award recipients can come and join me. I'm in love with the word. So the Peralta Colleges are home to many extraordinary individuals who are consistently exceeding expectation in their service to students, employees, and the community. The whimsically named Flying Pig Awards were established to celebrate such achievements, those that defy expectations and embody the true spirit of Peralta. During my Chancellor's report on April 23rd, I announced the launch of the Flying Pig Awards, and thanks to many people across the district over the past 3 weeks who nominated colleagues with compelling achievements, we now have the first cohort of Flying Pig Award winners. And our first recipient is Amnin Bazula. Say it here. You say it so that I don't.
Amin Burdala.
Oh, beautiful. Amin was nominated for remarkable contributions you've made in the Welcome Center at Laney College. You excel as a student worker, being patient, nimble, and good with people. You actively support the success of each student, and you collaboratively work with colleagues, has elevated the standards. I mean, look at our student leaders elevating the standards of excellence for the entire Welcome Center team. And so you, my student, outstanding leader, get our first Flying Pig Award. Brock Drazen. So Brock was nominated by a student who really nominated him for coaching at Merritt College, where he was recognized as an above and beyond track and field coach and mentor. Brock, your encouragement and support of athletes that includes school performances as well as prowess in track is inspiring student athletes, not just for success on the track, but also have a positive impact on society. And I got to say, Brock, just the message that you send us to give us the play-by-plays of the students and everything is so inspiring. And so you are a recipient of a Flying Pig Award. Congratulations. We'll get a, yeah, don't leave. We got Hope Lane. So Hope Lane at Laney College is getting a Flying Pig Award where she serves as the president of the Laney Classified Senate. Hope, you've done the impossible at least twice, including your efforts to honor colleague Renee Rivas by renaming the Laney College Classified Professional, the Classified Lounge in his honor, and in helping to organize the first ever Peralta district-wide Classified Senate. Classified Professionals Professional Development Day. Peralta is better off now with the Renee Rivas Lounge and district-wide classified professionals a day. And you were out there at the pause ceremony too, cleaning up and helping support. And I know you'll be out there this weekend. So hope pigs fly when you're around. So congratulations. Promise. I'll say it for you. Okay. John Whitney. So John Wynn at Berkeley City College was receiving an inaugural Flying Pig Award, where you are the first ever Associate Dean of Student Engagement and Basic Needs. While there have been many shifts in administration, his colleagues said he remained unwavering in his commitment to supporting students and helping BCC become the first college in the district to hire a basic needs coordinator. They noted your perseverance and advocacy and willingness to take on more tasks and responsibilities, which have improved campus life and culture at BCC and Peralta. Such a pleasure. Congratulations. What should I say? And John, I know John because when I was a dean of counseling at Evergreen Valley College, John was the ASG president at that time. So the Associated Student Government president. So one of us is getting old and it's not me. No, it's true. Hello. Kyla was nominated by multiple people for her remarkable contributions that she's made in teaching at Laney College, where you've impressed colleagues with new curriculum in the math department for data science classes that enhance the data science literacy of students and workers. Your thought leadership is part of the equity and calculus project to rework math assessment practices to be more equitable and mitigate institutional barriers is also incredibly inspiring to your colleagues. And I've had the chance to work with you. I'm so proud. Recently got tenure as well. So flying pigs all over the place with Kyla O. So our last recipient unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight, but I did want to take a minute to just talk about Nick Shear, who is here for the remarkable contributions he's made in the accounts payable at the District Service Center, where he processes invoices for DGS and capital projects. His thought leadership during the PeopleSoft upgrade, where he helps solve problems and make us more efficient, has been noticed and makes Peralta a better place. And I got to tell you, I was trying to read this whole thing the other day, and man, Nick, churned it out and did it. And it's always really so helpful. So I was disappointed Nick couldn't be here tonight, but please join me with a round of applause and honoring Nick Shear. We'll make sure to give him to it. As we get the winners to come up for a group picture, I'll just say all of the winners displayed dedication and actions that align perfectly with our mission of advancing social and economic transformation for students in the community through quality education rooted in equity, social justice, environmental sustainability, and partnerships. Their unwavering commitment serves as an inspiration to me and hopefully to all of us. By metaphorically making pigs fly, they epitomize the exceptional individuals who make Peralta a truly special community. Thank you. So I want to just take a second to say pigs fly in the sense you see these beautiful awards. So I want to do a special shout out and thank Levy Williams from the Laney Fab Lab for a thought partnership with me around developing and designing this award. And I also want to thank Marcus Krill for doing some of the original artwork that inspired the logo and the design. I want to thank Mark Johnson and Aaron Harper. Yeah, Harbor for actually helping with the form that allowed people to submit their Flying Pig Award nominees. So please be on the lookout for more opportunities to notice, small and wonderful things that are happening in our community. We'll be doing another in the fall semester. And on Wednesday, May 15th, the Laney College Classified Senate will award the inaugural first Renee Rivas Scholarship to 2 Laney students, Derek Carver and Erasimo Ortiz. Each will receive $500 toward their future goals. Renee's daughters will be in attendance to present the awards. And so wanted to just thank everyone for their donations on behalf of the Renee Rivas Scholarship Committee and the Laney College Classified Senate. And especially thank you goes out to the Renee Rivas Scholarship Gold sponsor, Thank You Grill, who hosted the fundraiser in January and donated a portion of the proceeds to the scholarship fund for $657. So I'm pleased to announce that we'll be holding the College of Alameda President Finalist Forums on Thursday, May 16th. As a side note, it was auspicious last night. I read the piece from the Citizens staff writer, Romy Bales, entitled COA's Mystery Woman, The Forgotten Legacy of the First Female Community College President in California, the late Jeanette Poole. Bales' article is a fascinating ride highlighting the perseverance and tenacity they demonstrated researching the mystery and uncovering Poor and Peralta made history, hiring the first female community college president in its own history and in California. She served at the College of Alameda for 6 years before retiring. It was just kind of cool. So I just had to put that in because if you haven't read the article, please read it. I thought it was really, really good. I want to thank the search committee for their hard work in the screening of the candidates and presenting 3 outstanding finalists for consideration. I invite you all to participate in the process by attending or watching the forums. The recordings will be shared Thursday late afternoon and providing your feedback by midnight on Tuesday, May 21st. My goal is to recommend my selection to the Board of Trustees by the end of the month and work for a start date of July 1st for the selected president. Finally, I want to congratulate all graduating students of the class of 2024. You did it, and you had help. I want to acknowledge all of the Peralta people, the faculty, classified professionals, and administrators who helped these students succeed on their educational journey. I hope to see many of you at upcoming graduation ceremonies. The full list can be found at www.peralta.edu/graduation. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you, Chancellor, and congratulations to all the recipients of the award. So we will now move to 4.1, Basic Needs Presentation.
Thank you so much. We're pleased to invite Dr. Tina Vasconcelos up along with my loves, the basic needs coordinators at our 4 colleges are here to present an overview of supporting student basic needs access in the district. And so Dr. Vasconcelos will begin for us. Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, this is not my regular voice. Sorry that I'm here and not sounding very clear. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm very excited to be here tonight to introduce the basic needs presentation to the Board of Trustees, Chancellor, presidents, and community. And what we've been talking about tonight and what the Chancellor in her report was talking about and the successes and the flying pigs and everything is really sort of indicative of what the basic needs coordinators have been doing over this last couple of years since the basic needs funding have come into place. So this is a brief presentation highlighting their work across the entire district. What you're doing. Next slide, thanks. So the history is Peralta's been doing basic needs work for many years. During the pandemic, there was food being distributed. There was partnerships with World Central Kitchen, and Eat, Learn, Play. There was the Laney Culinary was doing food also and distribution. So that came into play. Prior to that, there were emergency grants. We've partnered with agencies and community-based organizations to support housing, insecurity, and so forth. In 2022, the state chancellor's office granted funding to all of the California community colleges. And in that funding was mandated that we hire basic needs coordinators and also develop basic needs centers. So I'm excited to share So these are the focus areas that we currently have in our basic needs centers and with our coordinators at the moment. So food insecurity and personal needs, care needs is a focus of the colleges and what they're doing to support students and their success in achieving their goals. Food distribution is part of it, but there's also access to hot meals on the campuses and so forth. The move is towards hunger-free campuses. Housing insecurity, as you know, the Board of Trustees, that this is a huge issue in our community from the studies that we've done and that you've seen. So it's another area that the coordinators focus on. Financial support needs, emergency grants are included in that, and then also clothing needs with clothing closets. So the coordinators are going to share each a focus area and talk about what's happening across the district. And then we'll have a chance where you can actually ask questions. Thank you. So Katrina from Laney College is going to come up and talk about food insecurity.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm Katrina Santos, coordinator for basic needs, also known as the Eagle's Nest. And just really excited to be here to be able to just kind of share with my colleagues that we've been doing such great work. So addressing food insecurity among students district-wide is a critical endeavor, and our collective efforts across the individual colleges aim to tackle this barrier head-on. Through our food programs, we have made significant strides in alleviating hunger and ensuring students have access to nutritious meals and fresh groceries. To date, our initiatives have provided over 60,000 meals to students, and additionally, our food pantries have served over 11,000 students and over 1,000 students with personal care items. This is just such a big project for us, and I think food insecurity is one of our top needs on campus, and so just being able to provide weekly or daily meals. I know at Laney College, we were able to provide it weekly. And so that just helps students, and you can really see like the need. I mean, we have people wrapped around like our whole student center. So it just brings us such great accomplishment and joy to see our students being able to be fed. And I'm excited to announce that through the summer, we're working with our CTE construction wood tech program to be able to build a permanent pantry inside of our student center. And this is just like another big accomplishment for Laney College to be able to just provide that cornerstone of ongoing battle against food insecurity. And lastly, just investing in long-term solutions such as permanent food pantries, basic needs spaces, free meals. We demonstrate our dedication to ensuring that no student within our district goes hungry. And together we continue to create a more equitable and supportive learning environment for all our students. And then I think I'm moving next slide to Susanna from Merritt College.
Thank you, Katrina. Hi, everybody. As Katrina shared, I'm Susanna. I'm the Basic Needs Coordinator at Merritt College. And I'd love to share a little bit about how we are addressing the housing insecurity issue. As the board is well aware, the Bay Area is experiencing a huge housing crisis. That was only exacerbated when the eviction moratorium was lifted last July. We are fortunate to have partnerships and collaboration with some great community-based organizations like Unity Council, Keep Oakland Housed, as well as Alameda County Social Services. We refer students often to these programs. However, we do face challenges as these programs are extremely impacted, and a lot of our students cannot afford to wait a few weeks, a few months, even a few years to receive some of these relief services. I was the last basic needs coordinator to be hired. So we were able to kind of create additional housing solutions with our carryover funds. So at Merritt, we have allocated $100,000 towards a basic needs emergency grant. This grant does not have a GPA requirement because we saw that a lot of our students who were experiencing homelessness or just really intense crises couldn't, of course, keep up with school. So rather than, we wanted to kind of alleviate that barrier of entry because a lot of our other grants do have that 2.0 minimum. This allowed us to serve a lot more students, particularly student parents. And so we were able to allocate larger grants to students to go towards moving costs up to $2,000 per student who are able to identify a home to move into, as well as $1,000 for students who were facing late rental payments and evictions. One of our student success stories, we were able to support one of our student parents who was fleeing from a domestic violence household, and we were able to use the grant to get her a hotel for about a month's stay. And in that time, she was able to connect with other community members and folks and find more sustainable housing for her and her two young children. So while housing is just a huge beast that is going to take more than each of our centers to tackle, we have been able to make really wonderful impacts in our students' lives. So with that, I will pass it over to Jeremy from COA.
Thank you, Susanna. I'm here to talk a little bit about emergency aid through our schools. We all have various ways of addressing emergency financial support at our schools. As you can see from the slide, we kind of base it, I think, based on what we feel our students need the most or what they might be asking for. All together in the course of the last academic year, we've dispensed $212,000 or over $212,000 in emergency aid, helping over 660 students through the various forms of emergency aid. At COA, one of the things that I'm really proud of is our emergency food grant, and I fought really hard to make sure we keep this grant. It came about originally, I think, in the pandemic, and we used HERF funds to support that. When I came on board at COA, I was integral in getting those grants into the hands of students. And then when I moved on to becoming the basic needs coordinator, I saw really firsthand that we needed to keep that sort of support around. So I went through all the rigmarole to make sure we kept it, because in my opinion, that's an important grant for students. I'm working to also bring on other forms of emergency aid, but also making sure that we maintain that food grant as well, because especially for some of our unhoused students, what we might have in our pantry or at our markets doesn't necessarily serve the student well. It's not something they can eat right away. It's something that they'll have to prepare at home. And if they don't have a home, then that's an issue. An emergency food grant, we usually give Safeway or Albertsons gift cards. That's Safeway, Albertsons, same company. And they can use that to get hot food if they need to. They can also use it to get personal care supplies. So that's a little bit about our emergency aid programs. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Izzy from BCC.
Thank you all again for having us here tonight. My name is Izzy Villanueva. I serve as the Basic Needs Coordinator at Berkeley City College. I'm here to highlight some of the efforts that all four of us have made around clothing and making that an available resource for free for all students. I will give credit where credit's due to Katrina, who first started this idea because she was given a lot of donations, I believe, from some of the staff and community members at Laney to start their first closet. And I wanted to then bring that to the Berkeley City College campus. I actually hired my first student assistant that was dedicated to our buddies closet. It was named by the students because they wanted to create, again, a really welcoming environment where this idea of finding basic needs should really be destigmatized. We shouldn't be ashamed for asking for help. And so with the development of the buddies closet, my student assistant, Ashley Mujica Pinto, collected over 820 pieces of clothing just from the summer and fall semesters. And that was from BCC students, faculty, staff, and also community members who just wanted to donate clothing. She also single-handedly, with the support of my other assistants and myself, but she hosted our very first BCC flea market, free flea market, where students could attend and essentially receive any clothing items that they needed. They were able to shop freely, just as any student would at a regular shopping boutique. However, they got to have pieces of items for free. And all the leftover clothing items you can see in the slides, we stock and supply in our Basic Needs Center for students to come and shop for free on a weekly basis as well. So during that specific event in the fall, we gave away over 340 pieces of clothing with over 80 students in attendance. We were actually able to replicate the exact same donation and exact same free flea market again in the spring semester. We're currently calculating the final numbers, but it is looking quite comparable, which shows that there is a need among our students in order to have this as an extra resource for no available cost to them. And I will say it really is thanks to a lot of the student voices and putting forward this idea of this need. Otherwise, I don't think myself would have known what was the best way to approach it to make it so students feel comfortable enough and not ashamed, like I said earlier, to come and seek these services. And again, I'm just appreciative to the rest of my colleagues because we do meet on a weekly basis and our students can benefit from every single campus. It's not just, we recognize that the students take classes at every campus. So if a student is taking a class at BCC, might be even taking one asynchronous or online class at Laney College and yet can benefit from resources across all the campuses. That being said, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Tina to close us out with some next steps.
Thank you to our amazing coordinators. So when we talk about next steps, housing is one of the biggest issues that when I met with the coordinators, we were talking about what are they seeing as their biggest issue in the community right now? And what are they hearing? Housing. We know we talked about this. We know the board supports housing and moving forward with creating student housing and or stronger partnerships, right, in our community. But as we move forward, I think that you're going to have very strong advocates in the coordinators and sort of, you know, being the voices of the students and also with the associate government. Another way they're looking to expand is creating the 2 new basic needs centers are going to be coming on at Merritt and also at College of Alameda. The other 2 colleges have basic needs centers already. And then also continuing to expand based on student need and student voice and doing surveys and so forth. So we can open it up to questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Trustee Delphine-Polk.
Thank you. And thank you so much for all the work that you do to benefit our students. This is really, really amazing. And thank you, Chancellor Gilkerson, for bringing this forward to us. So my question is going back to what you're saying, Dr. Vasconcelos, about housing. I know that building student housing has been a discussion that we've had on this board for some time. In terms of a short-term solution to the housing insecurity that we see with our students now, maybe Chancellor Gilkerson, you can speak to some of the partnerships that we have in order to help fill that need.
Well, thank you for the question. Absolutely. We've heard it from the basic needs coordinators and we see it around. And so you can see the collaborations that were highlighted by our coordinators really are those connections with Unity Council that we have right now, which connects students to supportive, affordable housing navigators in the community that can help connect them. I really want to just say again, how appreciative I am to the work that Merritt College is doing to provide these emergency opportunities. So thank you so much to Susanna for really elevating those pieces. I know each college has emergency grants to provide those things, but we're not doing enough, like, frankly, how But housing and housing insecurity and supporting our unhoused students is a larger, it's not Peralta alone. I really believe it is a, community-wide, city, county-wide, statewide initiative that we need to address, sort of holistically. And so looking at how the balance of, long-term solutions that work on different pieces. So we're continuing to complete housing studies around the grants that the college has received. We did apply for student housing state funding that was not supported by the state in the grant program. So we'll need the support of the trustees to continue to advocate statewide. We certainly are in some fiscal situations as the governor's May revises come out about what we will have for long-term solutions. But I do believe it is a priority project for us to consider strengthening partnerships with community-based organizations and looking at innovative solutions that we can do long-term, whether that's building our own student housing or actually partnering with other partners to do that work. So that's where we're at now, sort of at the nascent stages. So I think the last 3 colleges are they'll be completing housing studies within the next semester or so. So we have some better sense of market analysis and what the needs are for each community so we can talk about a comprehensive strategy.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Yes, Trustee Gonzalez.
What are the things you're not able to do? So like you've got the funding you've got, and my guess is there are gaps, right? That if you had the next chunk of money, what would you do with it? What are you not able to get to right now?
Probably a lot of things. Either a case manager that could meet with students and spend more time with them to talk through their issues, or even some version of a housing coordinator that could do more of a deep dive with students instead of just referring them to community resources, but really do a lot more probably hand-holding through that process, because it is, from what I can tell, a pretty daunting process to get help with housing through the county level. So those are things that I would want, if I could have, is support in those areas, even more staff really to help with those, so that we could share the load more.
So that's a really helpful answer, and it led me to my next question, which was, how are we coordinating with student services, with counselors, with instructors, with student government, with financial aid staff, et cetera, so that we've got a coordinated thing and people know where to make referrals and what resources are there? What's that process look like? I know that's a big question. Don't take all day on it, but thanks.
Hi, as I shared, I just started at Merritt in August. So something that was huge for me was to really let staff and faculty know I exist and what our services are. So very much so I'm in partnership with our wellness center, EOPS counselors, our career counselor, financial aid, and our student service building has like all of our basic needs flyers everywhere. We also have at Merritt College a basic needs task force that meets, and that's a combination of admin, faculty, and staff that has really been so supportive and welcoming for me, and it allows me to kind of just share what services are provided and have clarity around the processes of like filling out our intake form, what our grant is. So I think at least for within student services, there is an awareness of what basic needs is and what we can provide. And we have a very strong warm handoff system and referral base.
And just the last thing, I didn't hear you really mention the Easy Pass program. And I remember as a classroom instructor, just frequently having students come in and then making comments kind of like, sorry, I missed your class today. I had to make the choice between going to work or going to class because I only had that much gas. And so I had to go to work. I know at Peralta, we've got an Easy Pass program that's pretty powerful. It's a deep discount on an AC Transit Transbay Pass. Could you just say a little bit more about that so that people who aren't aware of that program know about it? Thanks.
Yeah. At Berkeley City College, one of the emergency grants that we issue is via Clipper card. And I think when students see, oh, I can apply for a $100 50 Clipper card, that gives us the perfect opportunity to also say, however, if you commute primarily through bus, we have this Easy Pass program. It's not only you having to refill your card. If your student fees already cover the Easy Pass, you are aware. Our cashier's office always has signages up. We also have signages up in our Basic Needs Center about it. I think a lot of students, at least at Berkeley City College, became aware of this during Fall is Free, Spring is Free, realizing it was already embedded into their tuition costs. So they were taking a lot of advantages of that. I will say, I think in terms of our campus, we are very commuter friendly because we are right next to the BART and multiple bus stops. I think one direction I also see myself going in, just as you said, Trustee, we want to think about gas as an emergency grant next as well, because there are those students who are commuting from farther out, who are driving and not only using public transportation. But at least at Berkeley City College, I believe, I would hope that most students are aware that this Easy Pass is an option for them.
VP Quinlan.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. I went to the Student Basic Needs Conference last fall down in Evergreen College, hosted by our now Chancellor, then President of Evergreen. And it just really brought to light the fact to me, that our students struggle with a lot of things. It's hard to struggle. It's hard to read when you're homeless. It's hard to study when you're homeless. When you have kids that are hungry, all those things that, the biggest barrier I think to our student success is not classes or books, or it's the basic needs to be able to attend college and survive while you're doing that. And that was really brought home to me at that conference. My question is, what can we do as individual board members to support you?
We do definitely love volunteers at our pantry. And I think just being aware of our programs, like Chancellor said, working with us on some housing initiatives and just really understanding what we do on campuses, I think is really important. We are like a one-person show on our campus, so it is really difficult and challenging at times to get everything done in one day, with reporting and, we wear a lot of hats as coordinators. And so sometimes, we do rely heavily on our student workers, which are amazing. But there are some challenges with their school schedules and how many hours they can work and kind of what they can do. But I think as a board is just continuing to understand and learn what we do, and coming to visit our campuses would be awesome. I know, just with our food pantry, we have the Oakland Rotary come, and that's been really cool just to have community members just really getting to understand like what our basic needs programs are.
Trustee Napolia Belarus.
Thank you all for the work, the really important work that you all do, and for really getting to understand our students and the complexity of their needs. I think that oftentimes systems and institutions and board members, we think free college and transportation, or looking at housing, we're doing good. But what you all are unpacking and you revealed to us today is that it's deeper than that. As you were saying, you have the food pantry, but the food pantry doesn't necessarily actually take care of their needs. You can give them the resources to housing, but that doesn't necessarily allow them the immediate needs that they have. So just thank you very much. I just presented at the Lake Merritt Breakfast Club a little while ago, and I wanted to let them know what Peralta was doing. And I have to tell you that I did let them know that we had food pantries and that we were taking care of basic needs and we were giving our students food grants, but I had no idea that we were doing what you all are doing at each individual college. And they were so excited. There were about 75 people there. They were so excited to hear what Peralta is doing, but they don't even know half the story. And so if the communities out there really knew what you all were doing, I think we'd have even more response and more support, and you all could do even more to help many more of our students. So thank you for coming to us and letting us know. And we're going to keep on keeping on and, do whatever we can to help you out so that you can continue to serve more of our students.
Thank you. Other questions? All right. Thank you so much. So I think that brings us to our consent calendar.
Move approval?
Any discussion? Okay.
Student trustee Masson,
Yes.
student trustee Vasquez,
Yes.
trustee Withrow,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan,
Yes.
trustee Napoli Bellarice,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. So that takes us next to our board reports. We'll start to my left.
I have nothing to report.
So really quickly, yesterday, Trustee Johannes and I attended the California Community College Giants game yesterday, which was a lot of fun. So we both went there wearing our Laney College gear. I did have a COA shirt underneath my sweatshirt, so just so y'all know. It was great. We met up with other trustees from neighboring districts. We're able to really connect with them. And so hopefully next year we'll be able to bring more folks. So it was really cool to see the Giants really highlight what the California community colleges bring to our community. So it was really great. Thank you.
Vice President Quinlan.
Yeah, so I attended 2 graduation events, the EOPS graduation from Laney College and the AAPI graduation up at Merritt College, and they were both outstanding. And I think I would just like to invite all my board members and community to participate as much as possible in these events. The joy that that is there, with the students, with their parents, many times their children. It's just an amazing thing. And I mean, this is the reason we're here, is to see our students succeed. And this is a celebration of their success. And I think they're very enjoyable events, and just as many people that can support these as they can. I hope we can do that.
To my right.
Really quickly, I was at the ACC-JC conference and I presented there. I saw 2 of our vice presidents. I saw Lisa Cook and I saw Mildred Lewis, and it was great to actually see them and catch and steal a few minutes of their time to kind of see how they're doing, because I never had that opportunity to talk with them when we're at these board meetings. And I have to tell you, it is so awesome. I was presenting at the Trustees Forum, and it is so awesome now to be a wonderful example of how far we've come. It is just, we are seen as this example of how community colleges, if they're kind of off in a particular direction, that, that we are a good model to be able to look at. So it's pretty fantastic.
God, echo to that. And it's really nice to be able to come here and see so much of what's powerful, but then also to just be on the campuses and see that work out there or online. And so I had the opportunity to be present for several sessions of Peralta's online equity conference, online learning and teaching equity conference. And it's powerful to see the reach of this district nationally. The quality of the presentations. You know how you go to conferences and sometimes you go into a session and you go, how do I sneak out of this one quickly? No such problem at this conference. Really, the quality of the presentations was really good, and it really spanned the range of issues. So, we think a lot of times about students who don't do well online, and having people thinking carefully about how to make sure that students who can only come online, that's their only way they're coming. They're not coming to college if they can't do it online. How do we make sure we serve those students well? And to see just the care and the expertise among our faculty and then the colleagues that they brought in from around the country was really fabulous. I love that we are a leader in that area. And then yesterday also, as Chancellor noted, I was at the Dream Launch program that the Future Business Leaders of America Club at Berkeley City College put on. And what a fabulous array. You know, some people are just really beginning, and just seeing them get up and kind of shyly present their idea. And, you know, you want them to speak up, but just that they're up there on the stage doing it is really good. And then the winner that the panel of judges chose was a guy named Kenny Overcast, I think is his name. And he has this really great idea about using skills that he's learned in the Berkeley City College multimedia film and video production program to produce short documentaries about loved ones in your family. So imagine you've got a grandparent, you want to honor that person, and maybe all the grandkids get together and chip in to have this video produced. And he's got a real business platform idea that looks like it's doable and it looks like it's sustainable. And the part that I liked about it in particular was the tie-in to the Berkeley City College student program. So you got students who are making videos, and here's an opportunity to actually get a paid gig making videos in the community and then creating their portfolio, which then becomes part of their work product that they turn into a professional thing. That's the win-win-win that we get when we let students just kind of go at it. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. So I had the pleasure of being at the CTE event at Laney, the open house, which feels like a long time ago, but it was after our last board meeting. It was great to see hundreds of people there, students and parents and community members. And I got to visit my son went with me, and so did my husband, and my son's a student at machine technology. And so he got to show us the machines he's working on, and was very proud about that. And we also visited commercial music and welding. So it was great to be able to hear about those programs and see some of it in action. We got to see some welding happen. So really proud to be there. So thank you. All right. So with that, we'll do announcements.
Yes, this evening announcements. Thank you, Mark Johnson, for the notes. Enrollment is open for summer and fall 2024 classes. Visit the Peralta website at www.peralta.edu. Enroll to start the application enrollment process. 2, the Parcel Tax Measure Oversight Committee will meet tomorrow, Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, here in the boardroom from 3 to 5 p.m. 3, as announced previously, this is graduation season. We have graduation celebrations happening across the district over the next 2 weeks. Visit the Peralta the Peralta website, graduation, and the college websites for details. I think I counted a total of 13 graduations we have starting last week and going through the next 2 weeks. The College of Alameda President Finalist Forums are happening on Thursday afternoon, May 16th. Visit the COE website at www.alameda.edu for details. The Peralta Colleges Foundation Golf Tournament will be held on Monday, May 20th, 2024. This is a big fundraiser of the year for the foundation, so please visit their website for details or how to participate or donate. You can also talk to me about that. Final exams are taking place May 19th to 25th. To our students, you've got this. And finally, the Peralta Community College District will be closed in observance of Memorial Day on Monday, May 27th, 2024. We will be open on Tuesday, May 28th, which is the date of the next board meeting. That's it.
Thank you, Vice President Quinlan. So I'd like to close the meeting in the memory of Mahogany Camel. We are deeply saddened by the passing of Laney College and Peralta Community College District student Mahogany Camel, a bright light in the Umoja village of Laney College and beyond. Mahogany's warmth and dedication as an Umoja Ubaka student worker and a volunteer leader in the Black Student Union enriched our campus community. Her spirit lives on in her daughters and the memories she leaves behind. Our meeting is adjourned.